Alright folks, welcome to another modern video. We are going to be looking at a very interesting Dono deck list that I received. So, there was a premise to what we see over here, which is Amulet with Mycosynth Gardens with 4 Thought-Knot Seers and 4 Crumbling Vestige. So that was the suggested route to go about things. So obviously, Crumbling Vestige helps cast a Thought-Knot Seer, and conveniently enough, after I was actually going through my mana base, I realized that this is 4, this is 8, this is 12, plus 1, 2, plus 2 more with Cavernous Souls. That is 16. That is 16 colorless sources, which is honestly pretty good if your idea is to cast a colorless spell. So, turns out that if you really want to, it's very easy for Amulet to be built in such a way that it can cast Thought-Knot Seer. And of course, with the goal being to cast Thought-Knot Seer and us having access to this angle of attack, all of a sudden Explore becomes a that much more exciting card, because even without an Amulet, what we can do is we can set up a sequence where we go turn 1, anything, turn 2 Explore, turn 3 Thought-Knot Seer. So that is very, very cool, and we are building the deck here with that in mind. Obviously, we still have access to like Mycosynth Gardens nonsense. We still want access to Azusa in order to have our turn 2 kills, but the Dryads are actually being cut, and that is how I made room for the Thought-Knot here. I think that there's no synergy really going on, and the mana base, when you also need to make room for Valkyrie, just becomes a little bit too prohibitive in terms of building to make sure that you have enough colorless sources. So it was a very interesting thought exercise. You're gonna see that because we are going with this more mid-rangey approach, I chose to put the Cultivator Colossus in the sideboard. In the sideboard, we can actually really pivot with this version of the deck, which I find very interesting. So if you really want to find a version of Amulet that is very good at not caring about getting its amulets removed, this one actually looks very, very solid. We have the Thought-Knot Seers, we have Cultivator in the sideboard, we have Endurances, we have Tireless Trackers. We can just play a normal curving out game of Magic all the way to Primeval Titan, which is very interesting, and it's a cool approach that I honestly can't wait to try out. In the sideboard, we have, Dismembers as well, Force of Vigor, Engineered Explosives, and then a couple of Bosages and Bojuga. As you will see, I had to cut some number of Bosages and main deck extra Caverns because Caverns stopped for colorless, which is good for us, and also, something needed to give, right? Like I wanted to have access to at least 3 basic forests in our deck list, so we don't just get hosed by Boseiju from our opponent's side. So that's why we see a bunch of Boseijus and Bog in the sideboard. But this is gonna be the deck list. For what it's worth, I want to say that I don't think that we necessarily need the full 4 copies of Crumbling Vestige in order to enable Thought-Knot Seer, but since this was the premise for the deck, I obviously said I chose to go for it, of course. But I don't think that you are necessarily required to play the full 4 Crumbling Vestiges in order to cast your Thought-Knot Seers semi-reliably. But yeah, we're going to be playing this list in a Modern League. Hopefully it's going to be a fun one. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and if you would like to support what I do, you can consider joining my Patreon, or you can also consider, just like you see over here, a Dono deck list option. I will play any deck list of your choice, and I honestly can't wait to try this one out. So let's see how things go. All right, baby, what do we got here? Is this a turn 2 Thought-Knot? It could be. I'm gonna keep this hand and see what's up. But we can go turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 Azusa. I guess we're 1 mana short of having turn 2 Thought-Knot. Unlucky, if you ask me. Unlucky. But this is obviously a very clean turn 3 Thought-Knot. Hardened Scales. Wow, that's a deck that I have not seen in a minute. Oh, interesting. Well, that means that we can actually Thought-Knot now. So how are we going to do this? So if we go turn 1 Gracer... No, I actually have to go turn 1 Amulet. So this means that now I can just go... Although I guess I'm limited on green mana, which makes things a little bit awkward. What do we see over there? Ballista for 2. Oh well, now all of our problems are fixed. Sure feels good to be this great at Magic. So, we're gonna explore before we do anything else, because I want to see what I draw, and I want to make sure that I have played my explores before playing Azusa, because otherwise my opponent's going to kill my Azusa and my Explorers are not going to give me extra land drops. So I just want to make sure that my Explorers have resolved my Mycosynth Garden. Okay, so I'm gonna play the Azusa here, but we don't really have to do this. So I'm gonna play Azusa, and I guess I'm gonna go Gardens, Forest. I could have gone for Gruul Turf instead, but I think this is better. So now this is gonna net me more mana for next turn, because I'm just gonna copy my Amulet. Alright, so Saga actually goes to 2 counters. If they have Ravager, that could be a problem. Maybe I should have just gone for it. Mirex. Add 1 mana of any color, activate only if entered the battlefield this turn. Are you... Wow. Create a 1/1 for Action Might. Interesting. So I guess it just creates fodder for Ravager for free. Very interesting. Okay. No Ravager is good. Alright. I would like to copy my Amulet of Vigor, please. Boseiju. Okay. This is fine. It just... They used their entire turn to do that. Which is kind of nice. Nice. Okay, so... Now... I guess I'm gonna Thought-Knot first to see what's up. Take the scales. They have Karplus and Forest. So... I attack... I'm gonna go... Land drop... Land drop... And play my 3rd land drop. And I think we can just hold up Boseiju here. I could just play Gracer. I just don't think that does anything at all. I think I just Boseiju the Saga. Actually, should I Boseiju Ballista? I think I should actually just Boseiju Ballista. Because otherwise the Ballista is going to start growing at 2 a turn and it's going to be bigger than my Thought-Knot Seer. And as things stand, these, like the construct is going to be smaller than my Thought-Knot, so... Oh, I honestly, I paid 2. I forgot that this just makes Boseiju cheaper. That little piece of information, it just kind of comes and goes. It's pretty funny. Sometimes you remember that Boseiju does that, and sometimes you just don't. Alright, so they are going to make a construct, which is going to be like a 1/1, maybe a 2/2. That is our 1 Boseiju, by the way. So we have already used it. We have very many, and I'm actually very happy that my opponent Boseiju'd my Amulet now, because if they actually had 2 constructs in play, we could be in trouble. They do get the Ossolith. They get another Hardened Scales off the top. Okay. That's really bad. So I think we just attack with both here. So that is 7 points. I'm going to play a Gracer just so I can chump block. But my opponent is going to start making 1/1s, which is going to slowly grow the construct. But those 1/1s cannot attack. And I also can just drop Primeval Titan at any point and just win the game very easily. So, this is 5 mana, so we can actually just haste here because we have access to Crumbling Vestiges. Crumbling Vestiges plural. So let's get Vestige plus T-West. Vestige, make red mana, haste prime time. And that's gonna be game. We attack. And my opponent somehow doesn't concede. Can respect it. I'm just gonna get here Bounce Land plus T-West so that I have the next Titan set up here. That 1/1 doesn't block, so my opponent can't even double block with the construct. Alright, do your worst. Perfect, so game number 2. And this matchup is pretty good because, well, we have tools. We have very, very many tools. So bring in those Boseijus, bring in those forces. Dismember is interesting. I'm not super high on Thought-Knot Seer in this matchup, actually. So I'm going to cut a couple of those. With those, a Crumbling Vestige is going to come out. I guess instead of Vestige, I should just be cutting the Cavernous Souls. And maybe Mycosynth Gardens. I'm just going to cut a Vestige. This looks fine to me. Because I don't think my opponent has any way of actually answering the good stuff. Okay, so we can go turn 1 Gracer, turn 2 Saga, turn 1 Gracer, turn 2 make a construct, turn 3 make another construct, Silencia Sanctuary Explore. Yeah, this seems fine. Strength of Ursa Saga is gonna be a big game here. I guess my opponent could be playing potentially something like Force of Vigor. And that would make things awkward. They moved to 4 though. Turn 1 Scales. Okay. Well, that's the perfect draw. So let's go turn 1 Gracer. Actually, now that I have done that, now that I know that I have the Titan, I think I'm just going to play Sanctuary here. And the reason for that is that Damping Sphere is something that can potentially get me. And by getting Patchwork Animate, Automaton, okay. Yeah, so I think we're just gonna explore here. Oh, nice. So, Vestige, Float Green, Saga, make green mana, explore again. Now we can just Titan next turn, which is awesome. Well, this hand developed nicely. This hand certainly developed nicely. I'll block. No attacks, huh? Okay. Well, here's a big boy. Perfect. So I think I'm just going to set up another Titan. I guess we can do both things. I can just get Tolari West and Boseiju, and since I'm getting Amulet off of the Saga, I'm going to be able to do everything that I want to do next turn. Can transmute, hold up Boseiju, do all the cool stuff. Opponent's doing some stuff on some things, but all of that is going to realistically amount to nothing. Oh, now they can like blow up their own thing, which is funny. Can destroy itself. Nature's Claim my Saga on upkeep. Okay. I guess I'll make a construct because I can. Well, I feel very happy now that I know that they were playing Nature's Claim. Like that, my play of going for Sanctuary instead of going for the Saga feels a lot smarter now. So I think I want to. I guess I can't really transmute and hold up Boseiju like I need to proactively use the Boseiju. That seems kind of fine to me anyway. So we just do this, bounce, transmute. I mean, I don't think any of this matters too much. Oh, I can just engineer the explosives. Yeah, that seems better. E for 0. Oh no, my own construct's gonna die. Attack. Say yes. And I think we're just gonna go Saga. Just go Saga Saga. Like I don't know how my opponent beats this. Maybe I should have gotten Tolari West there. I don't know. Construct's gone. Take 6. Down to 12. Gonna have 2 Sagas going. We have Boseiju next turn. Game's over. Alright, see you next round. Round number 2. This hand's pretty bad. Ship it. Okay, so turn 1, turn 2. We can turn 3 Thought-Knot into turn 4 Titan. Okay, I mean, I'm not gonna not do this, right? So we have to bottom, I guess, one of these bounce lands. It is quite funny though, so if my opponent sees it coming, I'm gonna be impressed. I guess it's not gonna be a turn 4 now that I think about it. It's gonna It's going to be a turn 3 Thought-Knot. That part is clear, but it's not going to be a turn 4 Titan. It's going to be a turn 5 Titan. Unless I draw an Azusa or a Grazer. Dwarven Mine into Scalding Tarn. Fire Ice kind of owns me, I'm not going to lie. Please play Ren and 6 or something. Don't Fire Ice me, bro. Hey, look at that. Okay, so we float a mana. Get an Amulet of Vigor. And I guess I'm going to play Crumbling Vestige here. And make some red mana. Thought-Knot you. Oh, this is too funny. This is too freaking funny. We're gonna get remanded here. Looks like it. Mana Leak? Oh no, we're playing against like the worst form of creativity, the one that plays Mana Leak and stuff. Ugh, vomit. The worst part is that it's gonna get us. No land. Nice. Alright, here's an Amulet. Here's the bounce land. I mean, do I want to go for it? I kind of don't have to go for it. My opponent is F6, but technically they could be baiting me, so I guess I'm just going to pass it back. I mean, it's not like they can punish me with only 2 mana, right? I guess they can find like Prismari Command, but if they do that, I just get them anyway, so it's fine. So this is going to be 6 mana if I play Vestige. Fire Ice. Okay, so now we know we're good. Perfect. Yes. Alright, so we play this. Boros Garrison. Gonna float mana. Bounce. Growth Chamber. Pact for Azusa. Play that. Play this. Make some mana. Bounce, Growth Chamber. Go to combat. My opponent just backs it in. Perfect. So, playing against creativity, and I think that I'm pretty sure that just Thought-Knots are just sick in the matchup, which is very, very funny. So, yeah, I'm into that. That is hilarious. Okay, so we're gonna cut a basic forest, and I think I'm just gonna cut 1 Saga, 1 Vestige, I guess. I kind of don't want to cut Vestiges though. We saw Mana Leak, so I think I want to cut it. I'm just gonna cut a Boseiju here. We're gonna go with this. This looks good. Okay, what do we got here? Turn 1 Saga, yeah, this hand looks good. Turn 1 Saga, turn 2 Explore. We're gonna send back 1 of the Crumbling Vestiges. But this hand looks decent. There's an argument for going turn 1 Gardens as opposed to going with Saga. I think I'm gonna go with Saga, particularly now that I drew Vesuva. So I can go Vesuva, copy my own Saga. But if my opponent has something like Alpine Moon or whatever, that could be a problem. Huh. They're just passing the turn. They're going for the Fire Ice upkeep tap. Because that was like a main phase fetch. So like you have to, yeah, you gotta do something on upkeep, right? Otherwise you're just telegraphing it a little bit too ostensibly. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna Vesuva my own Saga at this point. Pass the turn back. Next turn we get to Explore, which is nice. And then we can Gardens, copy your Amulet. Again, Alpine Moon destroys me. Absolutely demolishes me. But it doesn't look like they have it. Another Mesa, no fetch this time. Alright, I'm gonna stack my triggers. Float 1 mana. And I think I'm just gonna play the Explorer as bait. Here's an Amulet. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can't actually just cast I can cast a Thought-Knot. I guess I can just do both. I can just go explore into Thought-Knot. Obviously, if my opponent has the counter spell, they just get me. But like I did see. Oh, what's going on here? Green. We're gonna see Boseiju on the Amulet. Oh, please do. That would be extremely good for me. Prismari Command. Draw 2, discard 2, destroy target artifact. Yeah, this is fantastic for me. So now I get to just drop a TKS. Discarding Ren and Archon. So I don't get to explore anymore, which is unfortunate. But I do get to Thought-Knot. What do you got over there, OP? That doesn't do anything. So I think I'm getting the card that kills me, right? I could also just attack the Ren. No, I'm just gonna take it. I'm trying to like justify taking the Ren. It's just like no. we're just gonna take the one that actually can beat me straight up. So let's do that instead. All right, so my opponent's gonna Ren here, and I guess that they're gonna plus on one of their lands and play the land. So now what they can do is they can tap my Thought-Knot. They're also holding up Aether Gust, which is kind of annoying. Play it, float a mana. We're gonna get another Amulet here. And I think we just go Vestige into Explore. Explore. My opponent can Gust this if they want. Just gonna put the Explorer on the bottom. We get to kill their Ren. Mana Leak was their top deck. So we have perfect info about their hand. Okay. That's kind of good, actually. Attack Ren, so they're gonna have to chomp with the Dwarf. Yeah, we pass it back. We know they have Aether Gust. There's the Mesa that we know about. They have one unknown card. Gracer. Gracer is a little bit interesting. So let's start with an attack on the Ren and 6. See what my opponent does. They just take it. Okay, so let's just go for Mycosynth Gardens, and I think I'm just going to play a Gracer. Gust the Gracer? That's so aggressive. I'm super into it. Awesome. That was pretty aggro, if you ask me. Dwarven Mine. So my opponent's super stuck on mana, kind of, right? Like they only have one blue source and one green source. So if they do have like the creativity, we're gonna be in trouble, obviously, but it's not like there's much we can do about that anyway. And they still have Fire and Ice. They ice the gardens. So this, wait, does this fizzle it? It can't be, right? Like it can't work like that. No, they just draw the card anyway. Okay, that's fine. Well, we can just do that, I guess. So attack Ren. Kind of Vestige flooded a little bit here. Tiny bit Vestige flooded. All right, so the Dwarf gets under the bus. And here's a Vestige. And we're just going to fetch in response. That's kind of weird timing to do that. If they're going to Prismari Command, they messed up. They shouldn't have done it now. They should have done it in combat. Yeah. Draw 2, discard 2, destroy target artifact. Yeah, that's fine. Like those triggers are on the stack already. Like this Prismari Command is... They should have Prismari Commanded when I attempted to copy, I think. Oh, maybe that's exactly what they drew of the thing. Okay, so that's why. So here's another Thought-Knot. What do you got? What are you cooking with, opponent? So if we take the Fable, yeah, Fable's better than the Fire Ice, I think. Pass the turn. So my opponent's hand is Fire Ice, Dwarven Mine, Arid Mesa. But with Renin 6 in play, like Fable actually represents a pretty significant amount of value. So green bounce lands should be good to go. We're just back for Asusa. Fire Ice a land. Okay. Boseiju. Kind of awkward. If I go face with both TKSs... Okay, so I can't do that. So I guess I'm gonna go after Ren and 6. Which is gonna kill the Ren. I'm honestly not sure how much that achieves. But here we are, I guess. So as it stands, my opponent has one land that I know about and then a bunch of unknowns. Ren and 6 number 4, sounds good. But they don't have the lands to get though. So they just have another Mesa that they're getting back to hand, but doesn't really do anything. So if I go face with these TKSs, interesting. So I guess I have to go for Titan here. It's better for me to actually go for Primeval Titan here. So here it is. We have the Mana Leak, the Gust, nothing. Okay, that should be game then. Wow. So Thought-Knot got rid of both the the card that would have killed me and the card that would have drawn my opponent into a way to kill me. So yeah, this card seems decent in the creativity matchup. Just throwing that out there. And this hand is definitely better. So we can go turn 1, Saga. Yeah, this hand's great. So we're gonna bottom the Redundant Vestige. So we can go turn 1 Saga into map, turn 2 Mycosynth Gardens, and then if we find either Gracer or Asusa, we have a turn 3 kill. Not too shabby. Don't Thoughtseize me, bro. That's a grief. That's much worse than a Thoughtseize. That is much worse than a Thoughtseize. The good thing at least is the grief goes to the graveyard. No ephemerate shenanigans going on. Wow, there's a Gracer. So I think we play Gardens and say go. Because this now gives me the option of cracking map. That's option number 1. Copying Gardens next turn. That's option number 2. I mean, I'm probably going to be cracking map regardless. And then I can use map to get probably Tolaria West. Actually, what I can do is I can just go get another Saga here. That seems better. Let's go get another Saga. It means that I get to just like tap my mana here, get Amulet, that's fine. And then I just can play Gracer, yeah, actually I think I like that. So I'm just going to play Gracer. I'm just gonna play Saga, play Gardens. Put in fetches in response to the Gracer. Do they have like counter magic in their deck? There's no way. They're just cantripping here for sure. Yeah. Okay. So here's a Saga, which my opponent didn't know about. And now we're gonna play this Garden. So my opponent has perfect information about my hand, but whatever. They did nothing though last turn. Another Vestige. Okay, so I think we can use this Vestige to use... So I'm gonna use the mana to copy Amulet. See if my opponent like ley lines or something. And if they do, I can just use the other Gardens to copy. Alternatively, I can just do nothing. Okay, so they are binding. Because I'm gonna get another Amulet from this Saga. So I think I'm just going to make a construct here to put on the pressure. Get in there, Gracer. Hell yeah. Okay, so we see binding. We're probably playing against like the Spike Reanimator deck that he was playing the other day. Because every deck is a Spike deck. So there goes that. And now I think I'm just gonna make another construct. Like this, if they have another binding, that punishes me. But kind of is what it is. Okay, they didn't do anything. So that's fine then. Move to combat. Swing for 3. I can make this 4 damage if I want to. But then I think I want to wait until their upkeep, and I'm going to copy with Gardens on the upkeep. Or in response if they cast a cantrip or whatever. Alternatively, I can just let it go, but I think I'm just going to copy now on their upkeep. They do not have another leyline. Tainted Indulgence. Draw 2, discard a land. Play a tapped thingy. I mean, I can't haste this turn, but it's a funny draw. I mean, swing and copy. Tenya. Can we just win this game without ever casting a Primeval Titan? Just who needs to cast Primeval Titan? You can just make some random dudes and be doing great. All right, Bosages are great. Endurance is also great, and the Bujuki Bog good as well. Thought-Knot is probably fantastic in the matchup. I'm gonna go down one Asusa. I don't care for these members and stuff, I don't think. And I'm going to cut 1 Forest, 2 Cavernous Souls, 1 Garden, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 colorless sources for Thought-Knot seems fine. I think we're just going to cut a Grazer. So I'd rather have Explorers than Grazer. Okay. Turn 1 Amulet. Turn 2. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this. I think that my opponent's going to grief me, so I don't think my hand matters too much. They move to 5, but if they have the nuts so draw, it doesn't matter too much. Interesting. I think. Do we actually just go for Grazer here? We're gonna have turn 3 Thought-Knot. Yeah, I guess I'm just going to go turn 1 Amulet. Because if they want to leyline the Amulet, that means they don't leyline the Thought-Knot, which is potentially good for me. So now we get to explore. Nice. Well, actually, play this Explore. Yeah, Grazer is only +1 mana, so let's just play Crumbling Vestige. That untaps. Float a green mana. Explore. Stronghold. Play out Boseiju. And can only make it up to 3 mana. So I'm considering playing out the Boros Garrison just so I can bounce this and I can set up. Because I think I do want to play out the Grazer here. So I think I go for Garrison. And this now means I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana next turn, which is Titan mana, of course. Opponent fetches on my end step. We'll see if they go for Leyline or something. Okay, so they just Tainted Indulgence. Discarding Faithful Mending. My opponent's deck is not doing their broken thing. Okay, so now the question is, do I want to like go for Thought-Knot or do I want to go for Primeval Titan? What are the chances that my opponent's playing some form of counter magic? I guess not crazy high, so let's go for this. I could have gone for Primetime here, but this is better against Solitude. I could have actually gone for both things, but if I do that, like if I go for Primetime and then I get like Bounce Land plus Crumbling Vestige, then that can potentially be an issue. Oh, there we go. So I think I'm just taking the Ephemerate here. It's either the Ephemerate or the Goryo's Vengeance. I think it's going to be the Ephemerate. Play a land and say go. So next turn I'm going to get to do some good stuff. Here my opponent's going to flashback Faithful Mending. And If they do find Atraxa, it's going to be bad, but they have to find it exactly off of this mending. Because if they find it for like draw step, it doesn't matter. So they have 2 looks at finding Atraxa or Grisser Brand, and they don't find it, so that's good. Okay, so one of the Solitude is gone. White, white. Nope. Nope, yes, no. Blue, white. Faithful Mending, okay. So they're going for the card disadvantage, but they get, if they do find the Atraxa, then they just get to Gorios it this turn. They need to find Atraxa plus land. They end up discarding the Gorios Vengeance. Yep. I mean, this is what you're kind of, you know, struggling with, right? Is the fact that, sure, you are doing something powerful, but you're also doing something pretty clunky for ya. There goes that. So I'm just going to cast Primeval Titan here. And I'm going to get... Just gonna get Bojuka Bog, get rid of my opponent's graveyard, get rid of those mendings that can allow them to get back into the game. And I think I'm just gonna get... I can just get Ursa Saga. Because my opponent's gonna Solitude this prime time, but... Yeah, I think we just get Saga. Bog my opponent. If they have Solitude Ephemerate in hand and they find a white card, they can potentially get back into the game. But that's not it. That's land. Land doesn't do it. They can Leyline Binding, but like this is... Okay, so they actually take the Thought-Knot Seer. I was going to say, like, that's a risky proposition right there, my friend, but they actually went for the right play. And they didn't find the white card, and then Prime Time just kills them. We were going to just, like, float green, play Sanctuary, bounce this, blow this up, and just, like, Thoughtseize them again, but yeah. 3-0! Round number 4 is versus a Kaheera gamer, and this hand looks good versus Kaheera. We have turn 3 kill on the draw, but could be worse. Stomping Ground. Oath of Nissa. Wow, okay. It's a card that I haven't seen in a minute. They find Omnath. Yep, I guess we're gonna be doing this. This plays around Prismatic Ending and stuff. By just playing the Saga preemptively. Flooded Strand fetches. Hallowed Fountain. That's not Ren and 6 mana, so I guess they have an answer to the Amulet. Okay. That's cool, though. That's cool. Here's Mycosynth Gardens, and here's another Amulet. Here go. Oops, all Amulets. That's what we're playing over here. We're just playing oops, all Amulets. I mean, we're going to have triple Amulet next turn, which is pretty sexy. We're going to lose to Subtlety, but if my opponent's playing Subtlety, they deserve it, you know? If they're main decking Subtlety, I just have to accept that my opponent's the better player. Leyline Binding, okay. So Binding is kind of good for us in a way, because I get just... It's a suspend on the thingy. So here's an Amulet, and we're going to copy the Amulet. And here's another Garden. Pass the turn. And I wanted to do that main phase because my opponent did not have a Leyline mana right there. So here we actually don't have Titan mana. So my opponent is going to get to like resolve the Omnath, and I still have to top deck in order to do the thing. They're playing Cavernous Souls. Okay, so they're if I'm seeing Cavernous Souls, I think it's very unlikely that my opponent is also going to be playing counter spells. So I think that gives me a little bit of a breather. Interesting. Very interesting, actually. So I think I'm just going to copy this right now. And next turn we're going to have triple Amulet. If we want to, we actually have quadruple Amulet, but triple Amulet should be enough. But again, if they are playing indeed Counterspell, then that's going to be a problem. Yeah, it's been a fight over the Amulets, huh? It's been a fight over the Amulets. No land drop for opponent. Thought-Knot Seer. Hell yeah. Well, I'm going to copy these right now and pass the turn back. Opponent pluses to Fairy. Looks like still no land drop. 5 cards in hand, however. Another leyline. Damn. Damn. So we that's gross. Alright, Cavern Giant. Pass the turn. We're going to Binding on their end step. Bold Face. Aggressive. Another Bold Face. Do they have bold number 3? Do they really have bold number 3? There's no way they have bold number 3. Dude. Okay. Alright, you got me, I guess. Okay, Boseiju, your Amulet. Your Leyland Binding has an Amulet, I mean. So many bindings. So we're gonna get to Thought-Knot this turn, which is not nothing, I guess. It's also not particularly great. Gracer. Gracer allows us to block, which is also nice. So, play Gracer. Play Forest. And play Sanctuary. Man, we had so many amulets and just didn't quite work out over there. Thought-Knot you. Thought-Knot you. Wow, they did not play the Recent Reef? Why would they not play the Recent Reef? Are they just bluffing? I mean, I'm obviously taking the Solitude because it kills me, but... Why would they not play the Recent Reef? It was just a bluff? Okay, so my opponent's going kind of all in over there. Land. Did they find it? There's the Reef. Okay. Okay, that's mana. One more trigger. Can we dodge 2 lands here? Oh man, so lucky. Alright, Dismembers. We like those. Boseiju looks good versus Mono Leyline Bindings. And Colossus is fantastic in this matchup. I don't think this is actually Thought-Knot matchup. So we're going to cut those. I'm going to cut 1 Saga, 1 Garden. I guess we can cut 1 Vestige. I think Tracker is probably fine, actually. So let's bring in Tracker. Let's cut a Gracer. Oh, let's go with that. There's an argument for like Saga over Vestige or something like that, but I like to hedge a little bit versus stuff like Alpine Moon and Force of Vigor, which can be absolute blowouts, and Saga plays directly into that kind of game plan. Okay, weird hand, but I think it works. This is the opposite of the... If we had had this hand on the previous game, we would have probably been able to win fairly easily. Okay, play Vestige tapped, pass the turn back. Opponent moved to 6, by the way. They play Rogue in Triumph. Now we get to explore here. Rot Farm is nice. Let's play Rot Farm. Pass the turn back. So now we can even pay... Vestige actually makes this member a lot less painful. We dodge Ren, which is good. This is an interesting spot. Like, what do I copy with Saga? I think I just play basic Forest and say go. Yeah, I think this is fine. Opponent's gonna have bindings and stuff, but holding onto the bounce land seems quite powerful. And we can actually play out all of these Vestiges. Recent Reef. Trigger on the stack. Dismember it. This one needs to go. There's no, oh, let's see how this goes with Recent Reef. That one needs to die on sight. I'm actually going to play Vestige here instead of the Ursa Saga, because if my opponent has like Force or something, they actually time walk me, and there's no reason for me to play into that, so just gonna chill here. Next turn, I would even consider not playing out the Vestige, honestly. Cavern of Souls is a great draw, so I'm just gonna name Giant, and just like we drew it up. Just like we drew it up. Do they have Hardcast Subtlety? Maybe they have Hardcast Subtlety. They do have Hardcast Subtlety. Alright. Well, that one's going on top. Top that one. If they don't have a way to deal with the Titan, we may still be just fine here. I think I'm getting Boseiju. Ephemerate would be a beating, but I think I'm getting Boseiju. Boseiju T-West. Time Raveler. Time Raveler is fine. They should bounce their own subtlety. Boseiju my land. Oof. That one's a big deal. Yeah, I don't think I can afford to not fetch here. So I have to shuffle away the Primeval Titan. Now they should minus on their... Wow, really? Wow, that's so greedy. I mean, they're gonna get rewarded for that, but that is insanely greedy. Unless they have another one in hand. Like, they should have minused on their own subtlety. That plus there makes no sense. I could have punished them severely. Okay, take 3 from subtlety. Okay, now they go for that play. Which I don't know why they didn't go for last turn. Now they have a Ren Boseiju. Oh, they don't get Boseiju. Oh, they're just gonna cast Omnath here. Oh, they just want to have Solitude mana. Okay. Well, here's a Saga, and here's a random Gracer that actually matters because I can Vesuva my own Saga. So it looked like a completely irrelevant Gracer, but it was actually quite relevant. So now we have double Saga going. My opponent has already minus their Teferi. If they have stuff like Force, we're probably gonna lose, but otherwise this, we're gonna get the token generation engine going. They don't Boseiju. Interesting. So I guess they have a lot of stuff to do with their mana. We're falling pretty far behind here, particularly when we know for a fact that our opponent has a subtlety in hand. It was that one turn. It really was that one turn where we really needed to find the Titan off the top, or like to find a way to speed things up for us. Dismember would be a decent... Okay, there you go. Dismember would be a decent draw. So, which one do we dismember? I think we dismember the Omnath. Gonna make some black mana. And yeah, I think we dismember Omnath. I mean, it's bad if they have another Omnath, but I kind of have to force them to have it. Here we get to make a construct. I think I'm probably gonna take 6. If my opponent kept Lightning Bolts against me, then they're gonna get rewarded. But oh, I actually have to respect. Damn it! I actually have to respect the clock that the subtlety plus Ren represents, because I can't block in the air. So I guess I do have to chump. So 2 mana, construct, Chumperino, Stomping Ground, Shock. They plus the Fairy. Okay. Make a construct. Can I win this game? There's no way I can win this game, right? Well, there's a Primeval Titan, but I know for a fact that they have a subtlety, so that's not really gonna be doing too much for me. So here's some constructs, I guess. Here's an Amulet. And I think the second one's gonna get Expedition Map. Go to combat. We know they have Boseiju. Yeah, I attack right in 6 here. Dress down? Dude. Woof. That's devastating. The good thing, however... Oh, actually I'm 1 mana short. Ugh. Am I just dead? I think I'm just dead. I guess that was a reason. Like, I honestly was not thinking of Dress Down, but like I'm just dead now. But that was the reason for getting second Amulet. My plan was, okay, we can try to grind with Construct, so I guess I have to like start using Expedition Map to like get another Saga and kind of get that chain going. I already have 2 Amulets because of Lattice, of Gardens. But obviously with this happening, that was worst case scenario. I mean, I still think my opponent just like minuses some Primeval Titan and they play Dude on end step. They play Subtlety on end step anyway, and they just kill me with 6 plus 3 from the Subtlety plus 1 from Ren. So it's still lethal anyway, but That was a reason that I didn't play around for sure. All right, that was devastating. That was very bad. But that was a fun match though. I do think that the Elemental deck is actually very, very good and extremely underrated right now. Last round, and boy is this hand sweet, but boy is this hand bad. Ship it. I guess this is a hand. Alright, I'll keep it. Summoner's back to the bottom. And I think I go turn 1 Gracer. Actually, turn 1 Amulet plays around Spell Pierce, so let's do that. Turn 1 Spell Pierce, play around Spell Pierce, go. Opponent goes turn 1 Saga. Maybe we're playing a mirror here. We are playing a mirror. Okay. So that being the case, I think I want to go Cavern for Giant. And I'm going to, if I Gracer now, next turn I'm going to have 6 mana. I'm going to have 5 mana. So I can attempt to set up a turn 3, turn 4. My opponent's going to have a turn 3 kill, most likely. So I need to find either Thought-Knot Seer. What can I find? I mean, I guess it's mostly Thought-Knot Seer, really. Oof. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay. Do we have the Dryad as well? Strong hand from opponent. So they have another bounce land in hand. That's the only reason that you would not just bounce the Explorer, the Growth Chamber once again. Primeval Titan. So we're 1 short. So I guess we just play our land and hope that my opponent doesn't have it. But there's nothing we can really do here. We had the turn 4 on the play, or my opponent had the turn 3 on the draw. So turn 3 on the draw beats turn 4 on the play. Okay, so there's the bounce land. Do we have the Primeval Titan? Want to mix a bunch of mana, and they show me the Titan. Ugh, the ugly ass Titan art, the worst Titan art. All right, Forest, Boseiju, Force of Vigor, and I guess that's it. Yeah, Boseiju, Force of Vigor. Cut Cavern of Souls, and I'll cut 2 Explorers. One thing to keep in mind is like my green card count is actually quite low because I have like all of these Thought-Knots, so maybe I want to not cut 1 Explorer and cut a Saga instead. I'll cut Gardens. Actually, no, I'll cut the Saga. Thought-Knot potentially pretty decent in this matchup, however. Yeah, okay. Keep this hand. We get to go turn 3 TKS on the play. We can go turn 1 Saga, say go. Turn 2 Crazy Boy. Turn 3 Thought-Knot U. Opponent Vesuvas my Saga. Tough beats. Summoner's Pact. Play Gardens. Okay, so what I can do here is I can just lose to Force of Vigor. And I think that's what I have to do, unfortunately. I think that's what I just have to do. We just have to accept that we lose to Force of Vigor. But I think that Thought-Knot... If I had another bounce land, maybe I would go for something else. But as is, I just have to assume that I accept that I lose to Force. I guess what I could do is go for Thought-Knot instead. What happens if I go for Thought-Knot Seer? What is the likelihood that I actually win this game if I go for Thought-Knot Seer? Because if my opponent has the Force, they're going to use it anyway, right? So I can't win. They're going to get an Amulet from the Saga. The problem is, if they do have the Force, I straight up lose the game. If they don't have the Force, I straight up win the game. But I guess, I think it's better for me to not go for it. I think it's better for me to Thought-Knot, because I can then... Oh, actually... No, this is fine. Yeah. This is fine. So let's go for Thought-Knot here. And we can actually win next turn. Ha! Ha ha ha. Okay, can they cast Elish Norn? No, they can't. They can't Elish Norn. So I would have actually lost the game here. So I'm gonna go for Force of Vigor. I'm gonna take the Force and I'm gonna win next turn. Opponent can blow up both of our amulets if they want to. I mean, that's a good mirror tech for sure. That's very good mirror tech. Okay. Don't tell me they top decked Asusa, dude. Don't tell me they just top decked Asusa. Come on. Gracer. They just literally top decked Asusa. My opponent was more teched for the mirror than I was, apparently. They top deck Dryad. That's not good enough, though. I mean, they have to bounce. They have to play bounce line in order to blow up both amulets. Yeah, and that puts them behind a land drop. I mean, I guess it's not the worst. I mean, they have to do what they have to do, but yeah, this has been actually a very interesting mirror match. Funnily enough. Okay, so here's my bounce land. It's kind of cool that I would have actually lost if I had gone for it. So kind of rewarded there. The problem is that I can't beat the Elish Norn. Like once it resolves, it's going to win the game. So that part sucks, but okay, so land, Vesuva, and keep on swinging for 4. So I guess if I find another untapped land, oh, they don't have the ETB untapped land. It's kind of good for me. Okay, so what here? That's one turn too late. Brutal. Just one turn too late. Yeah. So they're gonna play Elish Norn. I can. There's nothing I can really pact for though. So I'm just gonna play out a Gracer. And I guess I'm gonna play both Gracers. And just pass it back. Not really anything I can do. Elish Norn's gonna kill me. Titan doesn't kill me, funnily enough, because they missed land drop last turn, but so now we're gonna get to resolve. We have to hope that we dodge another land drop once again. Bounce land kills me. Bounce land kills me. Untap land kills me. That's an untap land. So now they're just gonna like double trigger Primeval Titan, get to, you know, just absolutely destroy me. All right, we tried, but my opponent was stacked for the mirror better than I was. It's pretty funny how I went like 2-0 every match that I won, and I 0-2 both of the matches that I lost. What a hilarious league this one was. The Thought-Knot Seer actually did not look half bad, to be honest with you. It was kind of wild. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, Charles. I don't think that this is entirely out of the realm of possibility. I could even see the Thought-Knot Seer as being like a fine sideboard, like transformation thingy going on. It's not that you really need to go all in on all of these crumbling vestiges. Just naturally, you are playing a bunch of already colorless lands, so you just have to, you know, keep that in mind. But just, I mean, you're starting with 10, right? There are 10 colorless lands that you are just going to have by definition, and then, you know, however many Cavern of Souls you're playing, however many, you know, like cards like that you want to add. But you know, you could play like 1 or maybe 2 Crumbling Vestiges and like play maybe some more Bosages here and stuff like that, and you can still have like a pretty honestly reasonable sideboard game plan where you just like cut some aspect of your deck and you just pivot into Thought-Knot Seers, which can be pretty backbreaking. I think in the mirror I would go for the Thought-Knot Seer plan. I would go for the mirror for the TKS plan also versus stuff like Creativity, as we saw earlier. Even maybe even stuff like Living and whatnot. Maybe against Living it's a little bit too slow, but versus all of those like mid-rangey decks, I think Thought-Knot Seer is kind of relevant. It's like a Thoughtseize that you can actually cast in a realistic way. So it was actually kind of fun. 4/4 is also not too shabby. So I don't know if this would work versus stuff like Scam, though. Like, I really wish that it would, but like Fury just kills that exactly, so I don't know how effective it's gonna be there. And also, well, you know, Blood Moon is still a really big problem, and this, you can't actually cast this under Moon, stuff like that. So I don't know how effective it's going to be in the end, but it did not feel bad per se. It did not feel bad. It's just a matter of, it's a game plan that it's going to work some amount of time, and it's not going to work as well as you wish in some other variety of matchups. That's gonna be it for this video, though. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe on the way back. And of course, if you would like to support my content, you can consider joining my Patreon, and you can also make donations where I play any nonsense like the one Charles submitted here that you want me to play, with any donation of $30 or more. And also, if you're interested in coaching, I offer that as well. So this is gonna be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, folks. Take care. See you next one.